Alright guys, so this is the battery I usually use at night to run the air conditioner, and it runs it all night. I got it originally brand new in the box from a guy that bought this and this older POW MR. He never opened them. He showed me, and I verified where he had bought them on Amazon, and I can't remember what he paid for. I think this was $500 and this was like $6 something anyway. But I gave him $500 for the two of them. Okay, so I was like, dude, this is a crackhead deal. And he lived in a really nasty area down in Phoenix, but he seemed like a really nice guy. He was a truck driver dude, and he was gone a lot, so he didn't really live down there for the most part. But I was definitely worried about buying this from him, and that was about a year ago. I've been running it not a ton, but just when we need it. So this is like my backup battery. It's not in my main system. I've been abusing the hell out of these Walmart batteries, these Deep Cycle Group 24s for a while, and don't mind my mess. This is just very experimental. I've been learning solar for like the past, I don't know, since 2021 is when I got into it, I think. So a couple years. So like, I'm not really an authority on all this stuff, and I'm kind of a messy person by nature anyways, like a mad scientist kind of messy. So if you're looking for nice, neat, organized, fancy looking stuff, that's not me. I more care about how things function, how they function more than they look. But anyway, so I've got this battery now, and then I got this really good deal on these that were fulfilled by Amazon. I've already made a few videos on those, the Chins, and they're $203, shipped by Amazon. I got them in one day. They weren't supposed to get here for 4 days. And so they're hooked to this guy here. The display always goes off. We've been charging on, we have 4 panels. They're in 2 series, 2 parallel. That's all that's on this inverter. It's just like my extra 4 panels that I bought. They're LG 255 watt panels. They're like, I don't know what they are. They're rated like 37 volts VOC, and then like probably like 7 or 8 amps. But I've used them to charge that other battery for the last year, and it usually takes about a day to charge that battery. This charge controller doesn't have a large charge controller in it. It has like a 40 amp MPPT. The inverter is 3000 watts, but basically your solar will never be able to support that. So this actually just kind of makes a nice charger, for something that's just going to be a backup, not under full like steady use. But they have newer versions of this now that have larger MPPTs in them and other functions, and they can be paralleled and lots of other things. But this is just a really nice, affordable 24 volt 3000 watt inverter. But I don't know if you can buy it anymore on Amazon, but if you can, it would be in the $400 range. So it's one of the more affordable ones. So anyway, we're just looking at what this thing's doing. So what I don't like is I just like to see watts, not kilowatts. But it's 270 watts right now. Voltage is kind of low on the solar at 36 volts. That's another issue with some of these newer ones, and they won't function right unless they see like 150 volts. But this one has a very low limit, and I think its limit is like 150 or something. So you can't go that high. You can only like basically put your panels in 2 series. But we see that we're getting like the full amperage out of like what we would see as 1 panel. So the conditions are so bad that like 4 panels equal 1. And you see it's just dropping and jumping all over the place. But it's doing its thing. And that's going to charge our battery probably by the end of the day. So we're good to go. You can see the input to the battery. And if the inverter was on, it would show the output. And then it will read the input to the battery in kilowatts. And then it just goes through a series of other things. The temperature is basically being read by the unit itself, not at the battery. Those are version numbers, I guess. So we're at 26.8 while we're charging. That doesn't mean that's the actual like deal. It's interesting. It shows 33 Celsius for PV. Weird. So not a lot going in. It'll show you the amperage going in and out, and also like you can see like the buck boost function if you really look at it. But anyway, it's better than nothing, and I don't have to have it tied into the other system, so I can bring these up to 100% before I start running them. And then we'll probably do, assuming everything's all good, we'll run the bedroom air conditioner off these tonight, and we'll go from there. The other thing I want to do is I want this battery to be able to be switched in over here. I want to switch it in when I want to. So basically, I can have it on standby. I want it connected, but I want it off. So I'm trying to think of what the safest way to do that's going to be. Another thing too that I wouldn't mind doing is actually get another inverter and put another inverter on this and eliminate one of these panels down here, the arrays. So there's actually 3 arrays right here, which could actually be broken up into 4, to be honest with you. And then the 5th one's over here, but I would not mind having several different ones of these mounted to the wall somewhere with their own little grid. Here I'm going to get some of these boxes out of here and then put some more wood across here, and then I'll put the other battery over there, and I'm going to start moving some things around. And the idea was I need to build another shelf across here. I just haven't had the time to do it. It's been hot and nasty, so these are basically junk, but they, they're enough during the day to keep everything going. So yeah, I want to get rid of the other charge controllers because they're hard to monitor from down there. I can't tell what the hell is going on with them. They do work well, but they don't work the same as this, so it ends up being that a lot of times they're not capable of doing their job because this thing is doing stupid stuff, and this thing disconnects and reconnects all the time on the thing. You see it did it right now, and so that makes it a pain in the butt. You see what my load is, 1.2 kilowatts. That's 2 air conditioners. So with this thing disconnecting under load, then these will kick in, then this will kick back in. It's just it's a pain. And I think that's what's contributed to the demise of lead acid batteries, is it really is hard on them when the thing's doing that all the time. I think that these are more suited to something like an RV. You can hear it whirling up. That means the sun is coming out. Yeah, not much coming out of these. What we see here down. We're putting out 1.3 kilowatts right now, just out of this, just because the sun peaked out for a second. I mean, that's nuts. So most I've seen out of this is about 2 kW, and it's a 2.4 inverter. I think it has an 80 amp charge controller. I can't remember, but it's an okay unit. It just does that goofy problem with the way that the charge controller clicks on and off. And I've been round and round with the company about it, and they're just not very helpful. So they're not really selling these much anymore. I think Watts 24/7 is the only guy left selling these. You probably can find them on eBay, but they're not being carried really by anybody else. So anyway, I want to get that into the system, get rid of the EP-Evers, maybe put them on, maybe I'll get another battery and run a 12 volt station out here. The other thing too is like I can run the amp if I get one of those 240 volt inverters. So like what would be kind of cool is to actually like clean everything up, make everything neat and tidy. I know that's quite an order. And have like get all this crap off of here and just have a simple station that completely like is like off-grid solar. It'd be pretty cool. So you have 240 volt inverter and run the amplifier, you know, it'd be awesome. So I do want to do that, but I don't know. We'll see. I just try and stay with whatever's practical. So I need to figure out how I'm going to switch this one in, and then I can run this one off of the battery later in the day, and then I can have this one ready to go for at night.